Another cool and smooth way to get into the rear support position. This skill is not as difficult as it might seem at first. The only thing you would need to be able to do before going to straight attempts is the skill that I mentioned and taught and explained in detail in the previous tutorial, behind the back transition muscle up. You have to be able to do it smoothly and in a clean way. If you're not familiar with this skill, please check out the previous tutorial that I made specifically on the behind the back transition muscle up. I would suggest you to learn it first and learn it very well, because it's really will serve you as a base for the back hang muscle up. The new challenge that you'll have to face regarding this skill is the first phase of it, when you have to bring your body in the back hang position. It is very uncomfortable for your shoulders because they have not adapted to such a strange position. Hence, what you also will need for this skill is a good amount of flexibility in your shoulders and in your elbows. So I will show you a couple of very good exercises that will prepare your shoulders, your elbows, their mobility before you attempt to do the back hang muscle up. Before trying to do these exercises, please make sure you are very warmed up, especially warm up your upper body, your chest, your back as well, your shoulders. So shoulders play the major role in this skill. That's why the first exercise is going to be shoulder rotations. So you can use a resistance band, or if you don't have, you can use a towel, but make sure it's a long towel. And you are going to take an overhand grip and a wider grip so that the pressure, the initial pressure on your shoulders is minimal. One thing I want to emphasize about this movements of rotations is, please don't rotate just one shoulder and then the other. Do this motion simultaneously on both of your shoulders. So turn your shoulders, both of them, at the same moment, because if you rotate one shoulder and the other, it's not very healthy for your upper body. So for the next exercise, we are going to use the wall. So go to a wall, put your hands behind the back, and press yourself towards the wall. This exercise might be even more important than the previous one, because this position that we practice on the wall resembles the same posture that you have in the second phase of the backhand muscle up. The next exercise is the most important of all that I mentioned before. Again, you can use a resistance band or a towel, and you have to bring both of your arms behind your back. One arm has to go above one of your shoulders, while the other hand has to go underneath your back. Please pay attention to how your hands are twisting. So the hand that goes above your shoulder, for example, my right arm will go above my right shoulder. You have to place it this way and bring it behind the back as far as possible, and try to grab the towel, the resistance band, while the second hand has to twist contrary to the way your first hand is twisting. So it has to go like this. Pay attention. And try to interlock your hands. Of course, the perfect scenario would be if you can grab both of your hands behind the back. Anyway, try it as much as you can. Practice it. It really makes your shoulders adapt to that same position that your arms will have to be when you are doing the back hang muscle up. After you've practiced all of these stretching exercises, and please don't skip them, because If you go straight to attempts thinking that you already can do the behind the back transition muscle up and it's going to be very easy, you might be very well mistaken, because these new positions are very unfamiliar to your entire shoulder girdle, and you might give too much pain and torture to your shoulders. The next exercise that you have to definitely practice is to adapt to this position of back hang. So go to a pull-up bar and bring your legs behind your arms and go down as much as you can and let your shoulders sink deeper and deeper. You can do this movement in a static manner, but also do dynamics as well. Do the skin the cat exercise, it is also very similar. Now you are ready. So how you are going to do this skill? There are many similarities in this skill in comparison to the behind the back transition muscle up. You will also get a flag position. In fact, it might be at certain points easier because you are going to always hold with two hands. In the behind the back transition muscle up, you have to sit in one flag arm position and then to rotate. Here you are just, the harder part is how you are going to get this flag from this awkward position of back hang. So take an underhand grip with the hand that you will get a flag, just as in the transition muscle up, and the other hand, mostly you will take it with an overhand as well. But this time take a little bit wider grip, maybe at the position of your shoulder. So bring your legs behind your back and go deeper and try to get the flag. Yes, of course, the first time it is not going to go your way. That's why there are more simplified forms of doing this skill. First, we are going to practice the explosive version of this skill. So while you start getting into the back hang position, just when your bottom part starts to turn behind your back, behind your arms, in that very moment you start to get the flag, and try to do it by swinging your arm up. So get it with force, don't do it slow. The most challenging and the most important phase in this skill is not the second but the third phase of it, when you start to bend your hand to get into the flag, and your second hand also bends but downwards. If you notice how those hands are going at each other, one hand is with the elbow up but the other is with the elbow down, and this position of your hands is very similar to the position of your hands in the third exercise that I suggested you, that I called like the most important. It really prepares you, but there is also a great exercise that you can do on the lower pull-up bar, where you can bring your hand that is with the elbow down, you bring it to the pull-up bar in an overhand grip and try to lay your body on your hand and adapt to this pain. When you will practice this position many times, the pain is going to go anyways. If you feel too much pain, give it a rest, 1, 2, 3 days, as much as you need, and then come back. But please pay attention to this position, because if you can do it, then you'll have very little problem, because when you start to bend your hand to get into the flag, you really lay your entire weight of your body on the hand that is with the elbow down, and the pain can be insufferable if you didn't practice. If you didn't warm up, then it is even worse. So after you've learned this explosive version, now you can do it in a slower manner and slowly bring your body more and more down, more and more below, till you can reach the very bottom of this position of back hang, when you are completely laying on your arms and shoulders. Also, even if you still struggle to do the simplified form of this movement, maybe your hand has not adapted to this position behind your back, you can also bring your body in a different position in such a way so that the flag is going to be easier to get. So you're going to place your body on your lower back. You will enter into such a different position a little bit, which is called nivelada. It is a hold position, which is the basic skill in the so-called gym bar. It is also a form of calisthenics which involves a lot of flexibility. So once you have learned the standard way of doing this skill, you can try to do something a little more advanced. You can change your grip. So for example, you can put both of your hands with an over or an under grip, and the skill is going to be a little bit more difficult to perform, because now you will need even more flexibility, not just your shoulders or your elbows, but also your wrist. Because for example, when you bring your flag with an overhand grip, the flexibility of your wrist has to be bigger in such a position. Also, when you are with two underhand grips, the hand that is lower and will be in the underhand grip also twists itself in such a way that the wrist receives more pain. So you can try a lot of stuff. So if you've learned the back hang muscle up, don't stop here. There are a lot of more complicated, more advanced skills that are really fun, and I encourage you to try them out. I will create more and more tutorials about such advanced skills. So my next tutorials are going to be concentrated on such type of different type of skills that not just get you into the rear support position, or but also on different type of holds positions. So I really would appreciate to see you there. Thank you.